All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, mishpacha wahabarim. Shalom, shalom, mishpacha wahabarim. That means peace and wellness, wholeness to family and friends. It's your girl, Shanti Doc, 916. Shan Ashanti on my birth certificate. Sorry, I am in my phone. I was having some difficulty with my boy BA. His headset just not working. I don't know what's going on. Um, he's in this live. However, I can't hear him. His microphone is not there. He just, I guess, he's gonna remain on this in this video until he get it situated or whatever. But not whatnot. But he could still text me in the background. He could still text me in the private chat here. So um, I don't know how we're gonna do this, but I'm gonna just have to roll with it. Okay. So with that being said, this video is not going to be that long. This is called Torah Tittles of the Text. I want to do a series on things that I've ran across reading the entire Torah, which is the instructions given for living, the instructions given for living that are in the first 5 books of the Bible. So that's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And I've recently gone through the entire Torah in Hebrew, in the original language of Hebrew, and I get questioned pretty often as to what things I've run across that are different as opposed to the English translations. So I thought it would be good to do a series on things I've run across and actually looking at when I'm getting to look at the in-depth definitions of the Hebrew. I tend to see some different things, of course. So I wanted to share that instead of just say, hey, Shanti, what do you think about this, that, and the third? Why don't I just do a video series that lets people come on and ask, pretty much, hopefully something I'll cover will answer your questions. So these are going to be short videos that I do. I'm going to try to do them once every 2 weeks, and bear with me because putting even a little short video together takes your time. It takes time, especially when you want to in-depthly cover a few different things. You want to have your sources, your references together, all that good stuff. So the live chat is open. I can't really see anybody's chats. I can't really see everybody's chats, but I'll try. I'll definitely try. So let me see how my live, let me see if my lives are actually posted up. They are posted up. Cool. Got a couple of people watching on Facebook. Let me check the YouTube. Let's check the YouTube and see how I'm doing there. Hey, oh, Sis Jackie, how you doing? What's up, Sister Jackie? I ain't talked to you in a minute, but we've been keeping up with each other back and forth on Facebook since we met at the bookstore. And guess what? I was at the bookstore recently. I was at Half Price Books recently. Amazing stuff I found. So with that being said, let's hurry up and get this cracking. So when I was reading Genesis 1, 2, and 3, I've read it a few times in the Hebrew, and I wanted to focus on something that I ran across in Genesis 1, especially verse 29. And you get a few people who say Genesis 1:29. Oh, when I look at it, when I read the Bible, I see a prescription, I see a command for human beings, humankind, humanity to only eat plants and vegetables. We were not supposed to consume animal flesh and things of that nature because Genesis 1:29 says so. And the translation they see is herb. And herb, Herb, herb is to them plant, Plant, plant. And so when they think of plant, they only think of when they go to the garden and they get something green from the garden, some bell peppers, some cucumbers, some kale, some spinach, some greens, or any type of fruit. They think that plant means we're only supposed to, or be commanded, or be prescribed to eat that thing. And they say, well, we were not supposed to consume animal flesh. That only came after the fall of Adam and Eve. That only came after Noah and the ark situation, and when Noah had to make a sacrifice. And I'm like, okay, I don't even believe the text after Noah when it says when it says Noah made a sacrifice. I don't see that that's a chata. I don't see that that's a sin sacrifice. So, shalom. All right. Shalom, Sayah, why? Shalom, shalom. So, let me go ahead and get this crack-a-lack, and let me share my screen here. Okay. So, if I need to make this bigger, let me know. You don't know nothing about that? You don't know nothing about what? Amidst Ben Yehuda. What's up? That's my boy right there. He's another Moray, fabulous teacher, fabulous brother I met through Facebook as well. Shalom, shalom to you as well. I don't know nothing about that. I'm saying a whole bunch of stuff. So you're gonna have to let me know because I'll run into one subject to the next. All right. So if you guys can see the screen good with Genesis Beta Sheet here in the Hebrew, if you can see it okay, let me know. If I need to make it bigger, let me know. All right. For y'all's sake, I'll go ahead and make it bigger. Oh, that sacrifice. You think that sacrifice was a sin sacrifice or not? Amidst. Make it bigger? Okay. Let's make it bigger. How's that? How's the font on that? Oh, that's a whole okay, got you. But do you think Noah was making a sin sacrifice or not? Okay, perfect. If it's a whole nother study, we'll talk about that later. No problem. Okay, so let's get to, does Genesis 1 and 29 command veganism only to eat plants and fruits like that? So this is just to say, I'm not gonna say don't be vegan, don't be vegan, don't be vegetarian. That's not what this video is about. This video is not to tell you be a vegan or not. I'm just saying these are the things I ran across, and if you be willing to go back and look into it for yourself, or to look at the
Can you hear
text,
me?
the scriptorial. Yes, I can hear you, BA. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. There go BA. So before I introduce BA formally, I'm gonna continue what I was saying. So this video is not to go around picking fights to say, hey, you know, the Most High didn't command to be vegan or not. It's just to encourage you to go back and start looking at the text, the definitions of the words more in depthly, and not to automatically put an English definition on a translation of a word when you see it in the text. Shalom, Terrence. What's happening? All right, go ahead, BA. Go ahead.
Nah, go ahead, sis. I'm nobody special. Let's just get to the information. It's all good.
Okay, we can hear you, but your microphone is like clicking in and out. It sounds like you're underwater a little bit. But all right, so I'm gonna start with this is the creation, Genesis chapter 1. This is the creation, right? So I want to start off with verse 11 though, and Hebrews read right to left. So I hope you can see my little hand, the mouse, or whatever it turns into when I'm scrolling across, because it's a picture, right? I put all these pictures in a PDF. I use the PDF converter. But here we go. So verse 11 in the Hebrew text. So it says, Wayomer Elohim Tache Haaretz Deshe Eseb. And we're going to focus on Eseb. We're going to focus on Ayin Sin Bet, right? So Wayomer Elohim Tache Haaretz Deshe Eseb Misriach Zera Eitz Peri Ose Peri Lemino Asher Zaro Bo Al Haaretz Wayahi Chen. So that is translated. Now, I will say this. I got plenty of Hebrew teachers. Brother Amitz is definitely versed in the Hebrew. He's here. Another teacher of mine, Moray David Royal. He's on YouTube as Deaglin Royal. And then Mitzalel, an elderly brother, right? So, verse 11. So, and he said, Elohim. Elohim said, let it sprout forth, Tatshe, let sprout forth or grow the earth. Deshe Eset. So deshe is some sort of newfound. Well, in the translation, this word here, Eseb, is translated herb. It's also translated grass, but we're going to see what that is, right? We're going to see what this grass is. Mizriach Zerah. So in some translations, Mizriach Zerah, you will see seeding seed. I see also that this participle here, pretty much for your holding of seed, something that holds, carries, or bears seed, right? So Elohim said, let spring forth the earth newfound grass that holds for, that holds seed. Adjective pretty eights. So a fruit tree, osei, making. I think I may have said Mizriach is a participle, and I have to double check. On that if it's a participle. But this word definitely, the ayin sin, hey, that's definitely a participle. That looks like a participle. But it says the fruit tree making or producing, and we're gonna talk about what making or producing is, right? And then peri lemino, fruit, according to its kind. So that lamed is a prefix. The mean is the word that means kind or kindred, some sort of offspring, right? And you have this the holomwa at the end. That is your pronominal suffix, your possessive. So it means him or it, right? According to its kind, which zar obo, which its seed is in it. Right? Its seed is in it, right? Upon the earth, and it became Waihi, and it became Cain, thus or so. All right. Exactly. I mean, it's to fructify something, to produce something, to fructify something. This word, ose, right? Ayin sin hey. So, so Elohim said, "Let it bring forth the earth, let grow the earth, newfound grass or herb." And I want to talk about this word aseb here. When people look at herb, they automatically revert to it's a plant. Well, it's actually a grassy pasture. We're going to look at the Greek as well. So let me show you what a grassy pasture looks like, if I could. You see that picture there? That's a grassy pasture. Right? We got my boy, brother Amitz here. See, teachers can't help but to teach. That's what he's going to say. He's going to fructify something, right? Or to inseminate like with animals, right? So, see this? this green grass here, it's a pasture. Now, a lot of people don't like the Greek. However, the Greek sometimes details what the Hebrew is saying concretely at times. So we're going to look at the Greek as well for verse 11. I think I took a picture of it. So this is the grassy pasture, and you see these cattle, these cows, right? What do the cows do to the pasture? They directly eat this grass. They directly eat that grass of the pasture for nourishment, for food, right? So we're gonna see some things, right? Now this green pasture is also for humans. However, there's a different type of consumption, if you will, for the humans. All right. So the cattle directly eat this pasture or this aseb of grass, right? And we're gonna see this. I'm gonna not try to make this too long. So let's think I only took let me see. No. Yeah, okay, so in the Greek. So in the Greek, the Septuagint LXX, I took a picture of Genesis chapter 1, verse 11. And bear with me. Bear with me because I'm more versed in the Hebrew than the Greek. All right. I'm more versed in the Hebrew than the Greek. And I'm going to read and translate verse 11 here. All right. So, let's see from left to right. So, ke ipin hatheos belastisato. So, and he said, God, let it spring forth, he, the ye, earth, botanin kortu. So, botanin is they call it pasturage. Pasturage. Kortu. Kortu is like the grass, but it's also the earth. It's also a courtyard, a garden, an area that incubates, or where, like Mitz was saying, where something is inseminated, where a seed is being carried or bear, or when holding, right? It's an area that holds seed for incubating, germinating, so that something can sprout forth, right? So ke ipin hatias, belastisato higi botanin kortu, pasturage of a courtyard or an area that holds what? Spit on sperma. Spit on sperma. That holds spit on sperma. So it holds cartoon, it holds the sowing, the spiron, the sowing or the scattering sperma of the seed. And a lot of people say, I don't like Greek. But if you listen to how I'm pronouncing some of these Greek words, you can hear where some of our English terminology for certain words come from, right? When a male reproductive system gives off its seed, it's called sperm, right? So let me now come back to what y'all saying. We're gonna be here for a minute. No problem. All right, so let's look at this word cortu, botanin cortu, right? So let's see. I got pictures all over the place. So this is aseb. Okay, well, let's look at aseb before we look at cortu. So aseb. Aseb, from an unused root meaning to glisten or be green, or any tender shoot, herb, or grass. Right? That's aseb. And I got those mixed up. So this definition of grass here I got from the interpreter's dictionary of the Bible. I think it's page 469. Not going to read all of that because I'm already pressed for time. But let's see here. So that's Aseb. And this is also Aseb, the meaning out of the Brown Driver and Briggs, right? Shalom, Brother Mark. What's happening, Brother Mark? All right. So let's see. Sometimes I gotta zoom out so you guys can see things. This definition of grass or herb I got from the Unger's Bible Dictionary. So this just to let you know that I'm actually going into a lot of direct sources and references to get the definitions of these words right. So this says for a term used in scripture in an indefinite sense, referring to green herbage in general. So all the four Hebrew words, yerek, hasir, deshe, and aseb, translated grass, have this wide meaning. All right. The idea conveyed to us by the term grasses as plants with hollow columns, strap-shaped leaves, and an inflorescence of glooms and pales is a strictly modern creation of descriptive botany, right? And as we looked at that Greek word botany, we'll look at the definition of that too. All right. Let's also read just a little bit of, and I'm going to I'm going to quarter two. Don't worry, I'm going to quarter two. Botany Cortu, the grass. It says this is from the Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible. You see these words here: deshe, chatzir, yarek, eseb, kortos, kortu. That's the genitive there in the Greek, but in the nominative is kortos. Ki amikron, rho, tau, omicron, sigma. It is unlikely that the Hebrew distinguished carefully between the various grasses and grass-like herbs. The most general term in the Old Testament for grass is aseb, which is used both of fodder for beasts, and they give a reference there for Deuteronomy 11:15, and of food for men. So watch this, Genesis 1:29, plant as frequently elsewhere, KJV, herb. Now, Brother Amit understands we're going to look at what food is somewhat, right? All right. So let's go down. Sorry, I gotta scroll. Oh, this definition of aseb I got from what you call it. It's the complete word study dictionary of the Old Testament. I got that definition from there. I'm not gonna read all of this. Yerek, we're gonna look at Yerek. That's Genesis 1:30. We're gonna look at that in a little bit. Where is core 2? I can find everything else but core 2. Okay, here it goes. Quarter 2 comes from quartos. Okay, so a primary word meaning a court or garden. Example by implication of a pasture, herbage or vegetation, blade, grass, hay. Quartos primarily denoted a feeding enclosure. Quartos primarily denoted a feeding enclosure, then food, especially grass for feeding cattle. Thank you, Brother Amit. See, Brother Amit, he got his coffee. He up here giving you what it is before I even get to it. But you know, hey, that's what us teachers do. We give it. We give things away. Now, when we make this assertion, like Brother Amit bin Yehuda is saying, right? He says this grass, quote unquote, was for Adam and Eve to feed the animals, not for he and Eve's consumption, right? Now, when we make that assertion, we as teachers have to, the burden of proof is on us to show you how we come to that conclusion there. I share Brother Amit's same conclusion, right? By what we're looking at right here. So kortos is in the Greek for the word aseb in Genesis 1:11, and we're also going to look at that in Genesis 1:29 and 1:30, right? So since cortos primarily denoted a feeding enclosure, then food, especially grass for feeding cattle. It is translated grass in Matthew 6 and 30, 14 and 19, Mark 6:39, where the green grass is the first evidence of early spring, right? And it gives all these references here, right? So, and I got cortu, right? So, when we looked at Genesis 1 and 11, that is saying, let's go back up to it. Let's see, what's that, 24? That black dot that is saying, and God pretty much, or Yahweh or Elohim, Elohim said, bring forth, let bring forth the earth a newfound or a new green grass, right? Uh, that 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 carries seed. Eight. So a fruit tree making or producing fruit, making or producing a product. See, peri doesn't always mean fruit produce, like when you go to the grocery store section and you see some apples and oranges. It's a product, some sort of product for use, right? Let me know after its kind, which has in it, which its seed is in it. So it's going to always have in it, when something's made, it also has the ability already implanted in it, for it to reproduce. That, like us human beings, we are produced by a mother and a father. However, a mother and a father, their offspring, their children, the male and the female children are also going to have seed, or the male is going to have seed, and the woman's going to have an egg, some sort of way for them to reproduce. Right? Okay. Shalom, brother Orthodox Moore. You want the link? Okay, hold on. I'll shoot the link in the messenger. All right. Let me do this real quick, y'all. Let me get Orthodox Moore the link in the messenger. I forgot. Your name is not Orthodox Moore in the messenger. Hold on, bro. All right. So, all right, now let's go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. All right. How much time I got? I've been on here for 30 minutes. Okay, cool. All right, so Genesis 1, 29 and 30. So right there at the black dot. Shalom, Orthodox Moore. What's happening?
Shalom, sis.
Shalom. You want to say something to the people real quick before I continue?
What was that you were just saying about the seeds?
About the seed. The cortu. Mm-hmm. The cortu is the Greek word for aseb right there. But go back up. Let's go back up to Genesis 1 and 11 there. So Mizriach Zera. Mizriach Zera. So I'm saying it's carrying, Mizriach is carrying seed. It holds seed. This is a place for holding seeds, right? So you see the root there, Zen, Resh, Ayin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Hebrew's it's kind of difficult to explain how Hebrew does with its concrete language sometimes, but when it says seeding, seeding seed, it's also holding seed. This because I'm my looking at the word aseb in the Greek, and then the cortu for the word used for aseb. It's this garden or this courtyard that holds seed, but not so the soil outside, right? Soil outside it springs forth grass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it also is an incubator for holding seed. It's where you put
Mm-hmm.
seed in, and the seed germinates from there, and then it sprouts back up a product, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's my explanation. Go ahead.
Is it okay if I ask a question?
Sure.
Because I don't want to interrupt your flow as well. Like, so I can wait to ask a question.
You ain't gonna interrupt my flow, bro.
That's what
I
I
got
know.
the
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Go
So,
ahead.
so when you're talking about a seeding seed, right? There's also places where we see not to plant or what's your take on what the language says when it says not to plant a double seed in the field?
I'll get to that. I'll get to
Okay.
that.
Because
I'll get to that.
I was gonna ask you a question based upon like your concept of does this apply to GMO stuff or not apply to GMO stuff?
It could, but it could, but I just looking at like this initially when people say we're only supposed or only commanded to eat plants, and then they say, well, some people say, well, we only got to eat animal flesh after the fall or after Noah and the ark situation, and they go to Genesis 1:29 and say the herb means plants, and they think it's commanding. Also Genesis 3, they also believe that is saying we're commanded or prescribed to initially eat plants. Human beings are initially prescribed to only eat plants. That's so I wanted to take a different look and put it out there, and so people can see to really start to go back into the Hebrew and the Greek of the text. That's
Okay.
that's my thing. That's my thing.
Yeah, I know that's what's up. So let me go ahead and fall back right quick till you get to that part, and then I'll ask my questions when it's relevant. Okay.
Okay, cool.
That's what's up.
It sounds like you're gonna have some good questions, man. Brother Orthodox Moore gonna stomp Sister Shanti. No, I'm playing. No, it's gonna be a good
I
discussion.
highly doubt that.
It's all good. Okay.
I'm here
So
learning from you, sis. You know what I'm saying?
we learning from each other, you know what I mean? All right, so Genesis 1, and now we're gonna get to verse 29. Let me make it bigger. Let me make it way bigger for the people to see. All right, so we're gonna start with that black dot is there. So, hey, Shalom Moray, David. Hey, that's my Moray right there. I love that brother. Y'all go subscribe to his channel, D Glenn Royal. You'll learn a lot from that brother. All right, so Genesis 1:29. Wayomer Elohim, Hine, natati lachem et kol esed, zoreach zera asher al pene kol haaretz. We'et, I'm putting the emphasis, we'et, shalom, Sister Wendy, we'et kol ha'etz asher bo, peri'etz, zoreach zara lachem, yihye la ochla, right? So that is, and he said, Elohim said, behold, hine, behold, natati, I have given lachem to you. It's called eseb, all eseb, grass, herb. In the Greek, it's that core too, but we're gonna see something, right? I give it to you, all eseb, zoreach zerak, right? All grass, seeding. That's a participle, seeding seed, or for carrying seed. I've given you grass for carrying seed, which I share, which is upon the face al panei kol haaretz, which is upon the face of all the earth. Watch this. And conjunction with it, all the tree which is in it, all the trees which has in it fruit in the tree. So again, a tree brings forth a product, right? And that tree brings forth the product, and that product that it brings forth in itself is going to have a way to reproduce, right? So, and all the tree which is as in it, fruit trees, pretty much fruit tree, which has in it, zoreach zara, right? Seed. It's carrying seed. It's carrying seed for you, right? it shall be le'ochla. Now this is where things get a little bit tricky, right? This is where it gets a little bit tricky. Who's calling? Don't call. All right. Okay. You see where it says Zoreach Zara? Zoreach Zara. Well, in Hebrew, in the text, you don't really have a whole bunch of punctuation marks. But in some of your translation, you got a semicolon here. Right? And a semicolon usually it separates two independent clauses. Right? So watch this. People look at verse 29 and say, well, God said, behold, I've given to you all the herb, the plant, seed and seed, upon the face of the earth, all the trees which has in it fruit that has the capability to reproduce because it has fruit in it. To you, it shall be for food. That's what they say. So they're saying, okay, this verse says the aseb, the grass, is for us directly for food. I would say low, right? You said this is the grits that's gonna hit the fan, right? Um, it says to you, and actually, brother Amit's made a good point. That's second person masculine plural, right? The kaf with the mem so feet there. That's second person masculine plural possessive to you. So it means it's talking to more than one person. All right. So when it says I've given to you the grass is directly for the animals to eat, right? But this esep also is the soil, right? The soil or the land which incubates seed, right? It's the courtyard or the court too. It's the garden where your soil is there and it's for sowing or putting in a seed. That's what this aseb is. Shalom, Sister Chelsea. Shalom, right? So the grass is for the animals directly to eat for food, right? That same eseb, that courtyard, that garden is the soil which will hold humans' seed that they sow or scatter into it, and then whatever the human being has put or sown or planted, right, into that soil incubates and that seed germinates and it brings forth a product, and that product which is the fruit tree, right? The fruit tree, that product is going to be directly for you to eat or consume. Okla. So okla, aleph, kaf, lamed, hey, that's the feminine, but it's akal, right? And we're going to look at to eat. Now, when we look at the word to eat, I mean, you can go back in the dictionary and look at this, right? When you look at the word for eating, it means consume, right? And so people automatically equate eating to some sort of food for our human body consumption, right? I'm going to show, like, not only does consume mean to eat food, it also means to utilize things. When we go and get certain materials so that we can have them, like natural resources, right? Natural resources for us, we consume them, we utilize them. That's why as human beings, when we talk about capitalism in the United States, has 85% of us being consumers. What does consumers mean? It doesn't necessarily mean eaters. It means utilizers. Utilizers. Kenny Love. Shalom, Kenny Love. All right. All right. So pretty much in verse 29, let me say that again. It's saying the Eseb or the Kortu, this courtyard, this garden, this grass directly is for the animals, and we're going to get to verse 30 on that. It's for you, right? So you as a human being, remember in a few verses up where it says the Most High has given the male and female pair, humankind, giving them dominion over the earth to subjugate it. Well, we're responsible now for this area. So not only we're responsible for this area, we're responsible for the animals who are going to feed off of this area as well. We're responsible for the animals that are going to feed off of this area. And then we as human beings are going to use this area, but in a specific sense, different from the animals. So the animals are going to eat the grass or the herb directly, and then this herb, which is also this courtyard garden, which is the soil, is going to be for human beings to allow us to put in it and have a product sprouting up from it. Okay, so not only it does the ground or the earth or the soil produce food like plants and fruits, it also produces like raw materials, resources, right? Let me share something before I bring up verse 30 here. Go to verse 30. Let's do this. Let's slide this on over here. I googled this. This is FYI, DHEC Office of Solid Waste Reduction and Recycling, for your information. Natural resources. See, the Most High put everything on earth from the beginning that we need to thrive and survive and live on the earth. This cell phone and these computers that we're on, right? Do you know all of the materials that we're using to make these already existed on the earth? Right? It's just that over the years we start obtaining more knowledge of how to put those elements together to create these materials from natural resources, right? What does it say? Natural resources are materials from the earth that are used to support life and meet people's needs. Any natural substance that humans use can be considered a natural resource. So food is a natural resource for our body, right? Oil, coal, natural gas, metals, stone, and sand are natural resources, right? Other natural resources are air, sunlight, soil, and water. Animals, birds, fish, and plants are natural resources as well. So when we look at food, we look at a fuel. When we look at food that we consume for our body, it's fuel for our system. Our body is a system that has to have things in it to properly function, right? So watch this. Look at products made from natural resources. This is the Most High explaining what we have dominion over and what we are allowed to subjugate or utilize or consume or eat. Consume or eat, right? So that it will be for our benefit here to thrive, strive, and survive on earth, right? Look at this. Natural sources, trees. What do trees make? Paper, furniture, fuel. Cotton, clothing, right? What do we use oil for? Plastic, fuel. Natural gas, we use it for fuel, right? A lot of in our car, right? Coal, what do you use it for? Fuel. Iron ore, steel products, right? Shalom, brother Yehukanan, what's happening? Yeah, Orthodox stay everywhere, bauxite ore, aluminum products that makes cans, car parts. These are things that also are product of the earth for us to eat or consume or utilize, right? Sorry, I'm getting a little happy. Gold. What do we use gold for? Jewelry, dental material, right? Copper. We use it for wire, coins, electrical equipment. And I thank the Most High for copper because we need copper for a lot of our electrical system. And I needed to act right today. Act right is the AC because it was like 102 degrees here in Sacramento. It was hot. You know what I mean? Manganese, what do we use it for? Steel, cast iron, cobalt. We use it for steel, jet engine parts, cutting tools. Platinum, air pollution control, and telecommunications equipment and jewelry. Chromium, stainless steel, green glass, leather treatment, diamonds for jewelry and mechanical equipment, right? Start looking at natural resources, not just plants. It's this area that is for us to spring forth product, things we utilize, things we consume, right? All right, let me get this out of the way. All right. All right. So verse 30 of Genesis chapter 1. I'm at 45 minutes. Okay, cool. And we're gonna look at some more definitions and stuff here. So let me just go ahead and read the Greek of here too after I do that. So Genesis chapter 1, verse 30. Ulekol hayat haaretz, ulekol of hashemayim, ulekol romes al haaretz, asher bo nefesh haya et kol yerek esed leochla, why he can. So verse 30, and to all, watch this. This will confirm what I said. And to all the living beast, right, of the earth, and to all birds of the heavens, and to all creeping things, romes, creeping things, creeping, all that are creeping upon the earth, which is in it, breath, breath, chaya, of life, all yerek esed, all yerek esed, all that is, excuse me, all yerek esed, to eat, to eat. So who's gonna directly eat the esed? See, in verse 29, it did not say to all, it did not say to all humans is the esed for you to eat. No, it just said it said the fruit tree which has in it seed. To you, it's for food. Verse 30, it says it's for the animals to eat. What? Yerek esed. Directly. So the esed, right? The quarter two in the Greek. So the quarter two more so details the esed. Right? Now let's go to let's see. Should I read verse 29 and 30 in the Greek? I don't think I need to. I could. Yeah, I could. Let's go there. See, I have some notes and I'm not even following my notes, but that's because I got sidetracked. But it's all good. We had some technical difficulties. And you know, when there's technical difficulties, you take 20 minutes trying to figure those out. And the next thing you know, your notes is going down the toilet. So ke ipin hatios itu dedoka himin pan kortan sporemon spiron sperma ha estin ipano pasistigis kepan zilan ha iki in eavto carpon spermatos sporemo himin istiis brosin. So that's to eat. So what is that? And he said, God. So God said, behold, the doka I have given to you all cortun, sporimon, speron, sperma, right? So there's more detail here in the Greek. Let's look at it. It's more detail here in the Greek. So God said, behold, I have given to you all the courtyard, sporimon. It's translated fit for sowing, speron, a scattering, sperma of seed. So sporimon, speron, sperma. So I've given to you all courtyard or an area that's enclosed, right? It's enclosed, right? For feeding cattle. We've seen, right? It's enclosed for the feeding of cattle, directly the grass, right? For the cattle, but for the human, sporeman, speron, sperma. It's an area enclosed, right? That soil that's fit for incubating, a scattering, or putting in a scattering sperma of seed. Um, what is that? So it is to eat all. What is that? Verse 29. Hold on. Okay. So okay, ipin hatia sidu tidokin. Okay. So God said, "Behold, I've given to you all cortiton, sporimon, speron, sperma." That is sorry. That's a relative. That is upon all the earth, tigis, capon, zilon, and all the tree ha'iki that has ain eauto in itself, fruit, spermato sporimu, that has in it fruit that holds what did I say? Fruit in it. Fruit or a product that holds in it a seed that actually is it'll have seed, therefore it can be planted again. Is to you he mean it's the is brosin to eat, right? And then there's the animals. Que pasitois terios, tigis que pasitois pitines tu orano. So what is that? And all that's all the living beasts, the cattle of the earth, and all the birds of the heaven, and all the creeping things. Uh, the creeping things that creep upon the earth, pretty much, that has in it the breath of life. Ikiin, Eauto, Pisikin, Zois, Panta Cortan. He said he's given directly the cortan, the grass, chloron, east, brosin to eat. And it was, or it came to existence thus, right? Right, all the green grass is for the animals, and also the same area, the grass directly is for the animals to eat, to graze, is for fodder for them, and then the same area for humanity, it's for the area for planting and having a product sprout forth that's going to help us thrive and survive on the earth. Right now, I don't want to make this too long, so let's see. I know people are gonna say, let me see. Do I got it up here? Yeah, I do. Yep, in orange. I know people are okay. Lastly, this is what I want to get out, and then I'll have a Q&A with Brother Orthodox more. I wanted to make this an hour. I didn't want to make it too long, so I started at 8:15. I want to be done by 9:15, right? And you know, when you do a live, you got people coming in, you saying what up, shalom, people asking questions, it kind of adds to the time. And then I'm flipping through all these pictures in the PDF here. I didn't even get to everything that I wanted to get to, but I got to the main things. So lastly, people are going to say, some people are going to say, well, Shanti, when I look at Genesis 3 verse 18, it's commanded for us to eat the aseb. It's commanded for human beings directly to eat the aseb. Well, no, in verse 30, of Genesis chapter 1, it directly shows the animals eating the aseb for food, right? But for humanity, for humankind, for the human being, that aseb or that kortu, it wasn't directly for us to eat, but the actual kortu or the eseb, the area is for us to utilize to make product for us to live, right? So Genesis 3:17 and 18. I'll read the Hebrew and the Greek. Genesis. So let's start with Genesis 3:18, and then I'm gonna say it's good to understand. It's a need to understand the context. So we have to read verse 17, right? But watch this. Thank you. Thank you, brother Abitz. Hey, you already know where I'm going. See, that's how you know brothers and sisters and teachers are on one accord. All right. All right.
I think it's more important that you address that than my questions. I can definitely get my questions on a part 2.
Okay. You wanna do a part 2 live, and then I can answer your questions, and then we'll just name this a part 2. Is that
Well,
cool?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No worries.
Okay. Cool. All right. What is that? Verse 18 says, "We coots, we Is this the right one that I wanted? Hold on. Okay, it is the right one. Okay. So verse 18, Genesis 3. So we coots, we dardar, uh tatsmiach, lach, we oklat, we akalta, excuse me, we akalta et ese hasade. Now Genesis 3:18, this is later on down the line after Adam and Hawa have eaten of the tree of knowledge, the tree of the tree of knowledge, tree of good and evil, and they have become like the Elohim, right? They have eaten what they were commanded not to eat. And so now you've got consequences, right? And a lot of people think consequences are commands, and that baffles me. I don't understand why people think consequences are commands. There's consequences to the function. So Adam and Eve themselves were not directly cursed. Their functions were. And if their functions were cursed, that means they can actually reverse the consequences or reverse the curses on the function. All right. So we kuts, we dardar, tatsmiach lak, we akalata it iseb hasade. So what is that sin? And the thorny bush and thistles shall it spring forth for you, and you shall eat. And you shall eat the grass or the herb of the field. But context, it brother admits, you know, watch this. It do sound like a famine. I want to present this angle to you as well. Verse 17, watch this. Ule Adam Amar, Ki Shamati Lekol Ishtecha, why tokal min ha'etz asher ziviticha lemor. Lo tokal miminu arura. Excuse me, arura. Ha'adama ba'aburecha. Ba'aburecha, what is that? Be'itzabon. Be'itzabon tokalena kol yemei hayecha. Did I read all of that? Yes, I did. Okay, so um okay, so verse 17. Verse 17 of Genesis 3. And to Adam he said, because you hearken, um you hearken to the voice of your wife, and you ate from the tree which I commanded you, saying, not shall eat from it. Cursed is the ground, the earth, the ground, the earth, the soil, um, ba'aborecha. Um, that is for your. It says for your sake, but for your purpose. I'm gonna translate it as for your purpose, right? So cursed is the ground for your purpose, right? Cursed is the ground for your purpose. Um, Be'itzabon. I don't understand people. I don't understand why people don't look at this word more closely. Um, it's sabon. Be'itzabon. Go look at that word more closely because it's translated as pain or sorrow. And more so people want to translate it as always a physical pain only likened to the woman. Well, actually, this is for this is for humankind as well, you know. If when the male got the consequences, when Adam got the consequences, this word was used for him as well. It means worrisomeness. Worrisomeness. So for your so and
Like stress.
to like what?
Stress.
Thank you. Stress, right? Thank you, BA. So to Adam, he said, because you have hearkened to the voice of your wife, and you ate from the tree which I commanded you, saying, not shall you eat from it, curses the ground for your purpose, right? In worrisomeness shall you eat all the days of your life. Then verse 18, thorny bush and thistles shall it spring up for you, and you gonna eat that herb grass of the field. What does that mean? That means that you as a human being, you're given dominion over this specific part that I said, right? Which is the product, the earth that brings forth product for you to utilize or consume, right? When it says eat, it's utilize or consume, right? Now that this ground is cursed, your function still has to get done. You still have to utilize these natural resources for you to thrive and survive on the earth. Now, even though you have this product that you're going to use, because it's now the product is going to be sown in worrisomeness, this product is not going to be as perfect as it was for you. You're going to have to actually work hard and toil and worrisomeness and stress to get it right. And then that product, that product or that result from you working hard to get it, you're gonna actually utilize that. So it's not gonna be perfect, although you still have to use it for what you need. Brother Amit, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. I don't want to get into that more in depth because I'm spending a lot of time. We'll be here for like 10 hours going over all those in-depth things, right? So, and in the Greek, what is that? Same thing. I'm not gonna. I don't think I should read it in the Greek, but you get the picture. You get the picture. So uh, the natural resources, like I said, the natural resources that the list that I shown. Let's go back and see that, right? The natural resources, they're still on this earth for you to eat or consume, right? Um, that was in the that I believe it was in the future. To answer your question though, Amit, because of that tau prefix. If I'm incorrect on that, let me know. But we still have to use these natural resources for our eating or consumption or our utilization, right? And some of these things, some of these natural resources may have some sort of defect at times. They're not as perfect as they were because cursed is the ground. They're not as 100%, but we still have to utilize them and utilize them in the best fashion and best manner we know how, so that we can use them to thrive and survive here on the earth. So, with that being said, I think I'm gonna stop sharing the screen here. So just to say this, I did this video because people want to know how I'm going, looking at all this stuff in the Hebrew and what do I see different. So I see eseb, the Hebrew word eseb that is translated as herb or plant. It's mainly direct. It's in Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. It does not directly say the eseb is for the human for food. It's saying the tree, the fruit tree or the product tree from which the product that comes from that tree has seed within it, and it's gonna be for your it's gonna be for your product as well. That is for you to utilize, consume, or eat, right? That directly is for you to eat. But this herb here directly is the grass or the pasturage from which the cattle use for fodder directly to eat. That's what verse 30 in Genesis chapter 1 is iterating, right? The grass is directly, the herb is directly for the cattle to eat. That's their fuel for their consumption, right? So people are going to ask, do I believe that Genesis 1 and 29 is commanding or prescribing that humanity was supposed to have some sort of veganism lifestyle? I don't believe that's what the Hebrew text is actually saying is prescribed or commanded. And when we look at a prescription, excuse me, when we look at a prescription or a commandment, it's going to be direct. You shall do this, and it's and the person or the parties that the Most High wants to do something or not to do something, the Most High talks directly to those parties and says, "You shall do something," or "You shall not do something." That is verbiage of command. That is verbiage of command. We don't see that here in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 or 30, right? So, am I saying don't be vegan? Be vegan. If that's what you want to do, cool. Be vegan. Just remember that if you're trying to use this passage to say it's a commandment that we were supposed to be vegan before the fall or before Noah and the ark situation when animal flesh came to be, then the burden of proof is on you to go back and look at the definitions and stuff. You know, now I didn't put up all the definitions. You know, I skipped over a lot of stuff for time's sake. Man, let me see something here. I skipped over a lot of stuff for time's sake. I mainly wanted to look at core 2. Look at botany over here to graze. Botanine. When I said botanine, what was that? In Genesis 1 verse 11, botanine core 2, to graze, pasturage, meaning the herbage or grass, right? Let's see. Other words I got in here to eat. Sporium and sperm. I'm just letting you know I did my homework on what these words mean. So when I'm just spitting these definitions out, know that I'm actually going to sources. You know, I used these sources. I use the Unger's Bible Dictionary, use the Strong's concordance here. I use the Strong's concordance here. A lot of people don't like the Strong's concordance, but I do use the Brown, Driver, and Briggs for the Greek. I also use this Liddell Scott's Intermediate Greek English Lexicon, right? Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible. I use all of these. I use all of these sources. You know, I use all of these sources. What word did I see? Here's the word for akal, okla, right? Devour, food, meat, devour, fuel, consume, right? I didn't want to read all of this because we would have been here for like hours and hours and hours, right? So what is it? It's 10 minutes past the hour that I wanted to be on. I could spend about 5 more minutes doing this. The field, saute. So I believe I made my point. I believe I made my point. Be vegan if you want. I just don't see that the Hebrew definition of the words we go into when you look at Genesis chapter 1 verse 11, Genesis chapter 1 verse 29 and 30, also Genesis chapter 3 verses 17 and 18. I don't see that as a direct command for anybody to have to be vegan, right? Because a lot of people get to the Passover or Pesach and they be like, man, I'm not going to eat this lamb. I'm vegan. And then they'll be like, well, Genesis 1 and 29 says we're supposed to only eat the herbs or the plants. And I'm like, well, can you explain? Ask the people, can you explain? Can they explain? Try to go into the Hebrew and the Greek like I did here. Can they explain by trying to go into some sort of sources, some sort of references, something, you know? So with that being said, I love y'all. I love y'all with the love of the Most High. I want y'all to continue to have a good and blessed night. I hope this was edifying as well as entertaining. I know it wasn't as animated as my other video I did, but we're gonna do a part 2 to that other video that I did last week on the Facebook directly. I'm gonna do a part 2. You know, I'm gonna get animated in the mug. Yes. Oh yes, yes, BA. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So thank you, Brother Orthodox Moore, for getting on. We're gonna do a part 2 to this. So I can end this video here, and it's gonna be more of a Q&A. If you want the link to get into that, let me know so that we can start answering some questions, have a dialogue about what I brought forth or what Orthodox Moore has to add to the subject matter. All right. So anything Brother BA or Orthodox Moore got to say before I go?
Much gratitude for breaking down the lesson in Greek and in Hebrew, like pretty much only you can do in the community. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you for what you do, and I appreciate being able to learn from what you do. Thank you.
Yep, for sure. BA?
You already know, sis. It's I checked out the information that you shared and for myself already, so it's all good. I always say to people, if you can have an issue, you can have an issue with it. But if you're gonna refute it, we need to see the sources to refute what we just brought out or what my sister just brought out. So and with that being said, I'm gonna shut my mouth. I read it enough already.
No, you good. Hey, Brother Ahmed, thank you for getting on and sharing all of your knowledge, your expertise, your understanding, and your research. Sister Jackie, thank you for letting us know, like, hey, you made a personal choice to be vegan, and definitely personal choices are that, you know what I mean? And we are to be respectful and mindful of, trying to impose or interpolate our personal choices into the text. If you're going to choose to do something, cool. However, to say the Most High commanded it just because, just so everybody can be cool with your personal choice, not cool. And that's not what you're doing. And I commend you for that. I thank you for that. You're one of the few people, who said it's a personal choice, but I don't try to impose it on other people. So thank you, Brother BA. Thank you, Brother Orthodox Moore. Sister Sapphire Elus Sashat. I see you. So I'm going to end this. Shalom, shalom, mishpacha, wahabarim, lalato. Gone.